And blessed to be with you, blessed to be here at Stanton International. Brandy Swindell joining us, a young lady who has had a dream of protecting babies, protecting lives, and bringing Stanton to Meridian, Idaho. Thank you for having us, and thank you for being at the tip of the spear.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate being on your show and your encouragement. And we all have our role and our part. And for me, it's pretty simple. How could I not? How can we not help women? How can we not offer them hope? How can we not offer life-affirming solutions? And how can we not care for those babies in the womb that have so much value? And so we were all once babies in the womb. And so one of my favorite lines, Kevin, for me, that convicted me in my heart is I had the moment where I realized it doesn't matter that I simply say I'm pro-life. What matters is that I'm actively doing something to prevent the violence of abortion. That's what matters to the babies in the womb, and that's what matters to women, and that's what matters to families.
The road less traveled you've taken.
Sometimes, yes, it feels that way. But you know what? The truth is, you want to know what gives me strength and encouragement? Is I get daily. I get this daily, either through email, a Facebook message, a phone call. Brandy, keep it up. We're with you. I stand with you. Oh, and here's my story. Don't ever stop doing what you're doing. So I know for me, I represent a lot of us. I know I represent millions of women around the nation who don't believe in Planned Parenthood's brand of healthcare. We don't believe that they are truly doing what's best for women, obviously. And so I know on that level, I represent millions and millions of women around the nation. I know I represent a lot of men, a lot of families, a lot of children, of course, that are life-minded and believe in this approach that Stanton has, which is providing quality, compassionate care to women facing unexpected pregnancies. And so really, there's a lot of us. There's a lot of pro-lifers out there. And in fact, statistically, studies show that the majority of Americans are pro-life or life-affirming. Mm-hmm. And so really, sometimes, it can feel controversial or it can feel isolating, but a lot of that is the perception that Planned Parenthood tries to create. The truth of the matter is people of goodwill want to make sure that no woman ever feels coerced into getting an abortion. Most people say, I don't like abortion. I would personally never do it. And the reason that is that we weren't designed to kill our offspring. It doesn't sit well with people at the end of the day. So it's really a radical abortion lobby that is pushing and promoting abortion and pushing that on women and pushing that on society. That's really what it is.
And here we are at Stanton. Before we get to Mayor Tammy, we're going to have you introduce her and thank her for coming here, because it'd be very easy for her just to be on the sidelines. But how important is it for people to take some time and instead of spending that $5 on the Starbucks, make a donation today? I mean, again, you're going up against something that's government funded, endorsed by the media, and it's you and your crew.
That's right. And the truth of the matter is, I can't do this alone. We can't do this alone. Stanton is only able to keep our doors open and have strategic locations like this right across the parking lot from Planned Parenthood because of people just like your listeners that are hearing this and going, yeah, I get that. I support that. I understand what that's about, and that is a good thing. We don't get any federal money. We don't get any state funds. We are solely funded by private individuals that support us, churches, businesses, like I said, individuals,
people,
that come alongside us, that say, hey, I can give $5, I can give 50, I can give 5,000, whatever it is, whatever amount. No amount is too big or too small. But we don't charge for any of our services. So when a woman walks through our doors, when she goes to a Planned Parenthood, they don't take checks because they want cash or a debit card. They want that money in the bank before they even talk to her about getting an abortion. And so at Stanton, we have We really care about these women, and we don't charge for any of our services, but there is a tremendous cost to it. I mean, we are a professional medical clinic, and so we have sonographers, volunteer client advocates, we have baby clothes that we give out, maternity items, lab-grade pregnancy tests. I mean, our ultrasound machine is, a $30,000 machine. That we had to raise the money to have that machine to be a window to the womb so women could have a scientifically, medically accurate exam to see what was actually going on inside of them, and they could see that heartbeat for the very first time. And at Stanton, we believe that knowledge is power, and a woman sees that. It's a game changer, which it is. The majority of our clientele, when they see what's going on inside of them, and that is a human life, that is a baby, they bond with that baby and they feel empowered, and they end up choosing life for that child. And then we come alongside them through our 18-month program. So again, we don't charge our clients, but there is a cost to this. Mm-hmm. And so it's people coming alongside us, giving what they can to support our work.
And how could they do that right now?
Sure, we invite them to go to our website, StantonInternational.org. There is a donate button right on there. They can swing by here today, right here in Meridian, Stanton's new location, right across from Planned Parenthood, and drop off a donation. And I tell you, we are in it's an urgent and critical life-saving work, and we cannot do this. We cannot keep our doors open without the support of the community. And I am very grateful to be here this morning with.
See, this is why you're a national speaker, and
yes.
you've been so successful. You just roll.
I'll just roll with it, man.
Right.
I'll just roll with it. But yes,
yes,
I am so thankful, and I'm so grateful to be here this morning with someone who's become a good friend of mine. I'm very thankful for someone who's done incredible things here in the city of Meridian and has also been an active supporter of the Ministry of Stanton Healthcare, and that is Mayor Tammy. And so she's here with us during our show this morning. Your show, Kevin Miller. I'm just going to go ahead and rename it the Brandy Swindell
Sure.
Stanton Healthcare
Yes,
Show.
right.
No, I'm just kidding. But we are so thankful to have the mayor here this morning. I remember first sharing the mission of Stanton with Mayor Tammy, and I immediately knew she connected with our mission. And she was kind of looking at one of our brochures. She looked at me and she said, from a mother's heart, I want to make sure that women here in the city of Meridian have loving support and loving options. And I just really admire what you're doing through Stanton. And that began just a
That's not easy for a politician to do these days.
It's true.
You and I could go back and forth, but we don't want the mayor to think she's a potted plant.
I heard that this morning.
Very
You're
true.
not just a potted plant, Kevin.
I'm a lot of things. But, thank you for being here. This is a moment of courage, of course. You're a conservative. You're a mom. You're a grandmother. I follow you on social media quite a bit. Don't get alarmed. But for you to be here, that's a statement. And for you to be Brandy's friend and friend of Stanton. So thank you for joining us, ma'am.
Oh, I love Brandy, and I loved her vision when she shared it to me, and the fact that I did tell her, because even though I'm an elected official, I'm that public servant, not the politician. It was not the political piece to this that spoke to my heart. It was the spiritual piece, and it was the piece that really was about loving women and not sitting in judgment of them. It was giving them options and loving them despite their circumstance. I mean, there's women in crisis. There's also women that find themselves pregnant and they don't know what to do. They may not be able to afford it. They have all kinds of different situations. Stanton, I believe, is that ray of hope. It does offer loving support and care, and you walk in their doors and you immediately feel embraced. That's what spoke to me, and I felt that's my piece to this. And that's why we donate and support Stanton Healthcare, because women already have a lot that they go through when they find themselves pregnant. Whether it's a wanted pregnancy or an unexpected one, it's still an emotional time in a woman's life. And the support that Stanton gives them is unbelievable.
I'm grateful for Mayor Tammy's heart in understanding that at the end of the day, this is not a political issue. And like we said earlier, not a controversial issue when it comes down to providing women with that support that they need and deserve. And I think that's also a really interesting point that the mayor made, that regardless if it's a wanted pregnancy, an unexpected pregnancy, one that was planned, whatever it might be, it is can be a vulnerable time in a woman's life, and is also such a powerful and important time. We see just a diverse group of clientele that come through our doors with all different stories, all different backgrounds, all different situations, and we are not a place of judgment. We are a place of hope, and that's why when a woman goes through comes through our doors, goes through our program, and we have exit interviews, like a lot of doctors' offices have, and we have virtually 100% that they would strongly recommend us to a friend, and that their experience at Stanton was an extraordinary one. And so don't take it from us, take it from the women take it from the moms. Yep, take it from the moms who have this life-changing experience. And so it's a beautiful thing, it's a purposeful thing, and I get so excited when we talk about it, because the more we talk about it and the more we raise awareness and the more people we get on board, the more women we get to help.
See, I think God put me in Brandy's life to tone her down. It hasn't worked yet, but I am working on it.
I know, I really need to get more passion, don't I?
More coming up next, KIDO Talk Radio. And welcome back, Kevin Miller in the morning on a very special day here at Stanton in Meridian, StantonInternational.org. Click the donate tag and make a difference today. A big deal. We've got Mayor Tammy of Meridian here with us while she's still mayor.
Thanks for the reminder.
Get ready to hang up the cleats. Our friend Tommy Alquist keeps trying to get you out of retirement there.
Yes, well, I'm looking forward for family time and just that time to connect with my newest grandbaby.
Right. And that is such a blessing, and a blessing to have both of you here to talk about life. Brandy Swindell joining us, the founder of Stanton. What would you say to men, both of you? We've been talking a lot about women. We've been talking a lot about babies. But what would you like to say, unfiltered, to men about the life issue?
Sure, I appreciate that question a lot, actually, because I think it's important for people to know, and especially for men to know, this is not just a women's issue. This is not just a women's issue, but this is an issue for the family. This is the issue for society, for culture.
Let me grab your microphone for a minute. It's shorting out, so let's try that again. You're going to have to hold it right here because we're very fiscally conservative. We don't really replace the equipment.
That's good. You're frugal and good with your money. That's very good conservative way to be.
To our hearts,
we don't move the cord there because it'll.
Okay, so just like this, it's the cord issue.
Yes,
okay,
I
was trying to put the cord back in.
I'm so with you.
Does anybody have some tape, some duct tape? We'll get. Okay, all right, we're good.
Duct tape fixes everything.
You can
It
tell
does. Duct tape fixes everything.
I'm very familiar with the equipment not working.
Okay, good. So does it? Are we?
I will wave at you when I can't hear you.
Okay,
right.
Perfect. Okay, so just to go back to that important question, or what men?
Right, to men.
To men.
We'll reset.
Yeah, let's reset. Yeah, what was I talking about? I don't even know. Okay, no, but it's an important. This is not a women's issue. This is not just a women's issue, but this affects all of society. This affects the entire family. This affects the entire culture. And so I really want the men that are out there listening to really be encouraged to never be intimidated by the radically pro-abortion, modern-day feminist movement that says, if you're a man, you cannot talk about this issue. If you're a man, you can't tell us what we can do with our bodies. If you're a man, you can never get pregnant, so how dare you say anything? I'm telling you, as a woman, do not buy into that. Do not feel intimidated by that. We need men more than ever involved in the pro-life movement. We need men more than ever behind the work of Stanton Healthcare. And I am very thankful. I have a lot of pastors, businessmen, people like yourself, Kevin Miller, that are behind the work of Stanton Healthcare, that believe in being there to provide support for women, provide support for children, and there would be no Stanton without the men of this community standing with us. And so, and also I have to tell you, a lot of times men get a bad rap in the whole unexpected pregnancy situation. And I have to tell you, one of the most amazing things that we see is when a young woman comes in and she has with her a boyfriend or a husband. It's an unexpected pregnancy. They might be on the fence on abortion, not sure what to do. They come in and the father of that baby's there. And if she's comfortable with it and she wants the father of this young baby in the ultrasound exam room to verify that pregnancy, so often we see the men who see the image of that little heartbeat on the ultrasound exam on that screen, and a lot of times it's the man who first has a tear rolling down his cheek and says, "That's a baby, that's my baby." And so it's a game changer too when the woman has the support of the man. It is statistically, if the woman has support from the father of that baby, she's going to feel confident to carry that pregnancy to term, and she's going to have joy about it, and she's going to, embrace this pregnancy. If she gets pressure from the boyfriend to abort, it's very common for women to have the abortion. And so, in another interesting statistic, the majority of women who have had abortion say, if I had had just one person reach out to me and tell me it was going to be okay, and that I wasn't going to be alone, I wouldn't have had the abortion. It's something like over 80% of women say that. And the majority of women, like Kelly shared earlier, regret their abortions. And so, again, I encourage men to get involved in the pro-life movement. We need you more than ever. Get behind the work of Stanton and young. And I also want to speak to any man out there who has a past abortion experience. Maybe he took a girlfriend in college to get an abortion. Maybe he took his wife. Maybe he paid for his daughter to get one. Men suffer too. Men suffer from the pain of participating in an abortion. And so we have the same message for those men. There is healing. There is redemption. There is forgiveness. And God's mercies are new every morning. Okay, and so you can start today by recognizing that wasn't a good decision to make to participate in that abortion, and to begin moving forward in advocacy to help women embrace their unexpected pregnancies.
And you can go to the website, StantonInternational.org, go to donate and make a difference today. Mayor Tammy, your message to men?
My message to men is it takes two to create life, and I think that it needs to be both that move forward with the decisions and looking at it is very powerful seeing that beating heartbeat, and it makes it real. And I think that the man and the woman need to be involved in that child's life from the day it's conceived. It's too often put on just one person, and I think that's why it's such a burden, and you feel so alone. That Stanton Healthcare helps bring that together and offering life-affirming choices and options and love.
Well, Mayor Tammy, anything else you'd like to share with us? I know you're busy while you're still working.
Certainly,
you're
I
not
think
short-time Sally, so...
No, I got work to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to be wrapping things up and working till the very last day. But I hope that the community gets out, the Valley gets out and supports Stanton Healthcare. They're here on Sunday, and they have their annual event in October to celebrate life, to celebrate the babies that they have been a part of, but also they're expanding their services. And I'm really excited about what that means to couples, to women, and women's issues. That, again, they have that loving option that is so important as you look at women's health care and our little ones. We were just talking about my grandbaby that was conceived right after my dad died, and my daughter is a little bit older, and she wanted some reassurance that this baby was doing okay. And Stanton and certainly Brandy is giddy about all babies.
I am. I am.
And I think she dropped everything and gave her a phone call, brought her in. And that was so powerful. And I can't thank Brandy enough. That baby is beautiful. She's next week. She's 2 months old, and she's beautiful.
Well, Mayor Tammy, thank you. Hopefully I'll see you at the 10 Mile Albertsons. I still visit that occasionally.
That's our hangout spot.
Right. Yeah.
That's where you guys shop.
That's right.
You buy your
yes.
groceries.
Even though I live in Star, I still have the loyalty to the Albertsons. At
That's
10 Mile.
awesome.
Yes. Well, Meridian, the place to be today and every day. Kevin Miller, let's take a look at traffic and weather together. Good morning, Dave. Bip bop, bibbity bop. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Taking your calls today at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Big night for the president last night. If you weren't in Cincinnati, Ohio, and really who was, I don't even think Sean Hannity was, this is what it sounded like.
The greatest betrayal committed by the Democrats is their support for open borders. And these open borders would overwhelm schools and hospitals. If foreign countries don't want to pay a tariff, I have a simple solution. Make your product in America. Come on back to the United States. Come on back to Ohio. They would love to see a guy like Sleepy Joe Biden, who has no clue what the hell he's doing. They'd say to Sleepy Joe, sir, just sign right there. Oh, okay. Last year was the first time in 51 years that drug pricing for prescription drugs actually came down. Now we're going to bring it down by a lot.
And there we have it, the President of the United States last night. We'll take your phone calls about that, but we are at Stanton International, opening in Meridian, grand opening on Sunday at 3. We hope to see you there. And we would love to take your calls at 580-5436, 580-KIDO about what is at stake when we're talking about the fight for life. Jessica joins us now with Kevin Miller in the morning on KIDO Talk Radio. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning.
So what brings you to Stanton? Tell us a little bit about being a Stanton mom.
I love being a Stanton mom. I have a precious daughter that is going to be 11 on Monday, and I couldn't imagine my life without her.
Well, continue on. You're getting a little emotional, but that's okay.
Yeah, and so about 12 years ago, I went into Stanton, and I was pregnant, and my boyfriend at that time did not want the baby, and so he made the appointment for me at Planned Parenthood, and we went together, and I saw a little dot on the monitor, and I wanted to see my baby a little bigger and hear the heartbeat, because I did a little research on my own that there would be a heartbeat, and to come to realization of that there is a baby growing inside of me, I was searching for that heartbeat. Planned Parenthood told me that it is too small and too early for a heartbeat, and that is as big as they can get my baby on the screen. I didn't feel comfortable with that. With the state of Idaho, there's a law that they have to give me the information of having an abortion and then waiting for about 3 days until I can abort. And so we left, and I did not feel comfortable still because he was pressuring me to abort, and I did not feel right about the decision. And so I went to my sister, and she heard of a place called Stanton Healthcare, and I was able to get an appointment after work, and they stayed after hours late to ensure that I was going home safe and that I was doing what I wanted to do, and I chose life. And the day after, moved out and began my journey with my lovely daughter. My ex-boyfriend at that time, when I told him that I was making the decision of keeping her, he put a gun to his head and told me that I will have to choose either our relationship without the baby or without him, and I'm on my own with my baby with no help. So I chose her.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 22.
Why? Young.
Yeah. And I didn't know much about abortion until I chose life and how horrible abortion is.
Years later, here you are.
Years later, here I am
Your beautiful daughter,
with a beautiful, smart, wonderful daughter.
sharing your story courageously on the radio.
Yeah.
Has time flown for you? What's it been like?
Time has flown. I couldn't imagine anything different. I love my life with my daughter and what we have and our family, and it's just amazing.
How has being a mom made you a better person? Randy, why don't you jump in here for a minute here? And we'll just share the
I'm
the
sorry,
working mic,
We're
right?
tearing up a little bit here in the studio.
But that's what it's about.
That's what this is about.
This is real life, real
Yes.
people saving lives.
These are tears of joy and of hope, and the realization of how things could have been so different if there had been a different choice made. And it's so neat because the very first time I ever met Jessica was when she came to Stanton all those years ago. And the very first time I ever met Paulina, Jessica's daughter, was on that ultrasound screen. It's the first time I met her in the womb. And here she is sitting with us in studio, 10 years old, and plays softball and loves music and is just a joy and is an artist. And, we're not talking about an issue. This is about human life.
What do you say to the critics that vilify you and going, what's going on the radio? What do you say as far as, answering the critics? Because all I'm hearing is unconditional love this morning.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll take the criticism all day long. I'll be vilified all day long because I get to look into the eyes of Paulina and give her a big hug. And that's the voice that matters to me, these babies that are saved. I get to give Jessica a hug and look at her smiling face and see the gratitude in those eyes. Yeah. And so when we have women who come to us and say, thank you, I don't know what I would have done without Stanton, that's the courage that I survive on. That's the inspiration. That's the voice that I listen to. And so I really hope any critics out there that might be listening right now, take your walls down, listen to the heart of what we're talking about this morning. Listen to the stories, listen to the truth. And again, this isn't about judgment. This is a day of hope. This is a day of redemption. This is the day of, look what we're talking about here. How can it be that over 60 million children have been lost since Roe versus Wade? And so what we're doing through Stanton is to make sure that women know that if there is an abusive boyfriend or pressure from parents or pressure from a job to abort, you are not alone. There is an organization that's going to stand with you. You're going to have everything that you need and a community that stands with you.
Randy Swindell joining us from Stanton here, StantonInternational.org, on KIDO Talk Radio. Before we go back to Jessica, though, let's address a couple things. You've been sued. Stanton has been sued. It's been well documented, and yet you have these great stories.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So let's talk with how the opposition tries to devalue what's going on here through the courts.
right.
I mean, you're a girl from Idaho. You're all over the place. I understand
Yes.
that. Then all of a sudden, boom, you've been served.
Yeah,
for saving lives.
That's exactly what happened. We were served at Stanton at our Boise location by Planned Parenthood, a lawsuit by their attorneys, and they were going after us for having our mobile clinic. It's a Class A mobile clinic, Class A RV. We've converted into a mobile medical clinic, just like St. Al's and St. Luke's have their mobile medical clinics. And we're able to take it to underserved areas, rural communities, and where the women are. Well, this is before we were able to buy this building at this location across the. We had it parked out here. We had purchased a lot of land, a bare lot of land. We had it parked right in front of there, not in front of the Planned Parenthood, in front of our own lot, staffed with client advocates, nurses, stocked with baby formula, baby clothes, layettes, diapers, portable ultrasound machine, all of that kind of stuff. And Planned Parenthood was so threatened that they filed a lawsuit to get that mobile removed. Think about what they're doing. A so-called woman a center, a clinic that's supposed to be about women's health care. They spend millions of dollars trying to market themselves as a place that cares for women. And here they are trying to bully another women's center that's just trying to provide other options. Do they not believe in choice? They say they're pro-choice, but when they're suing centers like ours, it appears that they're only about one choice, and that's the choice that they sell, and that's abortion. And so, again, we were not going to be bullied by Planned Parenthood, and the reason why, it's not about me, it's not about Brandy Swindell, it's not about the organization of Stanton, it's about the women we serve, it's about the children we're helping. And you're hearing the stories this morning, the Jessicas and the Kellys and the Paulinas, and the list goes on and on and on, of women that we serve. And if we let Planned Parenthood bully us, we're letting these women down. And we're not going to let that happen. So the good news is Planned Parenthood was going after us for $30,000 in legal fees, and we weren't going to be intimidated by that. They then said that they would settle with us and only go after us for $50,000, $15,000, and we said we're not paying one dime, and we're not going to be intimidated by you and bullied. And so it went before a judge, and the judge dismissed it. He could see right through it and what this was about. And so, and the community saw through it. The community really saw through it. And it was, in the media, and I think it really created some awareness that Planned Parenthood, at the end of the day, if they're going around suing pregnancy resource centers and life-affirming women's clinics like Stanton, that they're threatened by, it appears, women who are deciding not to get abortions and choosing life. Because when that happens, they lose money. The bottom line, Pat was sharing earlier, this is a massive industry with a lot of money, with an agenda on population reduction and very radically pro-abortion. There's a political agenda behind it. And so the power of Stanton has so many ripple effects, but we are about love, we are about hope, we are focused on the women we serve and those families that come through our doors, and those single women that come through our doors. The majority of our clientele are single, and we're about restoring relationships, restoring the family, embracing life. And as you can hear from Jessica's story, it's a beautiful thing.
Jessica, I know it's not easy. Anything else you'd like to share with us? Appreciate you were here like 6 a.m. ready to go, and I'm glad one of us was. But anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to say something to maybe somebody right now listening, or maybe they're with their parents or their husband or boyfriend that might have been you several years ago?
If you don't feel like it's right, don't go with it. Go with what your heart tells you. Life is beautiful.
And you can contact people here, right?
And you can
Stanton
contact
help
people at Stanton Healthcare, now in Meridian, as well. There's still one on State Street. You can call them. They're wonderful people. Everyone is just so loving and willing to listen. And, I mean, they're an unconditional family. They're my extended family. I just got magneted in, and I'm more than happy to help other people understand my situation, and hopefully it'll go into their hearts. If they're ever in a situation or hear about something, that they have a resource of Stanton Healthcare or any pro-life, anybody, just go to somebody, talk to somebody.
And pray.
And pray.
Yeah. Jessica, thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. You're listening to Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And we continue on playing the hits. Brandy, quit talking to Little Tiger. Let's get back to the show here. You never know what's going to happen here. We're at Stanton International in Meridian. Their grand opening Sunday at 3. We would love to see you there. We'd love for you to stop by. we'd love for you to make a donation. StantonInternational.org. Click donate. I do want to thank Tea Party Bob, who's put this on the Gem State Patriot. By the way, he's off the market now.
I heard he
got
just
married.
got married.
Right. I was hopeful
Congratulations.
that
I
you
know.
and Tea Party Bob,
I
Little
know.
Magic.
We've been a nice pairing, a nice couple. A little bit of an age difference, but
Right, yeah, well,
Yeah, but I'm so happy
age
for
is
him.
just a number.
He's such a good man.
He is,
He's
he is.
and he's been supportive of Stanton too. So very
And
grateful.
whether you're out as Tea Party Bob is or behind the scenes, this is people that make a difference. Now, it was funny. It's sometimes the best things happen off the air, Brandy, and you were sharing with me a story about Jessica and her beautiful daughter here that happened that I'm sure people in the Treasure Valley would like to hear about.
Kevin, I said to you, oh, by the way, did you know that Jessica and Paulina have been to the White House?
Right.
Kind of an important little detail to share. So in January, which is the Roe v. Wade Memorial, it's when the National March for Life occurs in Washington, D.C. And around the nation. And so we actually got an invitation from the White House to meet with Vice President Pence. And so Jessica, Paulina, and I went to the White House, and we
What was that like at the gate with the Secret Service?
it was incredible, and they don't mess
Jessica's
around.
laughing here. Yeah.
They don't mess around, man. There's 2 different security points
don't
you have
have a
to
lot
go
of sense
through.
of humor there, do they?
They don't.
Right.
And you have to send them all your information the day before, and they do the background check. And
Right.
I mean, if you have a letter wrong in the spelling of your name, you're not getting in. Which I think
Right.
somebody. I'm not going to say who. I don't know if it was me. Somebody sent. We messed up on one. We had to re-enter it all again because we were not getting verified and getting
Right.
through. So anyway, we got to the White House, and it was incredible to have an official invitation to the White House. Stanton Healthcare had that official invitation along with Jessica and Paulina as part of the Stanton family. And so we met with Vice President Pence. It was absolutely incredible. We actually met in his office. And it was really remarkable because he spent quite a bit of time listening to Jessica's story. And what was incredible is I got teary-eyed because then he started having a conversation with Stanton baby Paulina, who's not a baby anymore. She's 10. And it was really amazing. Paulina is an artist, and so she had that morning drawn a picture as a gift for Vice President Pence. And it was this great picture, and we got it in a little frame, and she presented that to Vice President Pence, and he put it right up on his coffee table in his sitting area where we were talking. And then Paulina and Vice President Pence had this great conversation. He said, hey, you want to check out my desk? And Paulina, Stamp Baby Paulina, got to sit at the Vice President's desk. She got on the phone. I don't know if she was calling Putin or who she was calling, but she was, and the White House photographer was there, and it was just incredible. And that's the power of our work here in the Treasure Valley, founded here. Stanton baby Paulina and Jessica in the White House, meeting with the Vice President so that their story can continue
Right.
to have a ripple effect and help other women.
Well, Paulina, tell us a little bit about that. What was it like when you were in the big chair seeing the Vice President? What was he like in person? Was he a scary guy or?
He was really nice.
Yeah.
And he's like, if he were friends with you, you'd get along really well.
Right. And you grabbed his phone. You make any calls?
No, but there was a dial tone, so I could have.
Right.
She totally could have.
You could have called Brandy, but she was with you. That would have been great. Well,
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share with us? Me neither. Okay. Thank you.
was
Jessica,
awesome.
Jessica, your thoughts there. There you are. A proud moment for you and your daughter and
Oh,
Brandy.
yes, absolutely. And being able to meet Vice President Pence was just amazing. And him listening and talking to my daughter was just wow. And just being able to see him and talk to him and shake his hand was amazing. He's just such a great individual that you just see from inside out. He's just a great person. And just being able to listen to our story, inviting us there, and being able to take time out of his busy day was just amazing.
Yeah. Most of us will never get to go to the White House. So, Brandy, Jessica, if you want to jump in, Brandy, whomever, what was it like? Was it a spiritual moment? Here you are from Idaho, and we've been joking about Donley off the air. That's a long way from Donley. when you're in the White House and you're, second in line to the president, who obviously cares about life.
I feel like there is definitely a lot of hope for the future.
Yeah.
A lot of people are definitely joining the pro-life movement and understanding what abortion really is now.
Right. We'll get back to you in a minute, either you or the Reverend. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Dave. KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning, live from Stanton Healthcare, Stanton International, stantoninternational.org. Do want to thank the young man who just stopped by and donated $30. That's the cost of an ultrasound here. Every dollar, every cent makes a difference. Won't you join the fight? Won't you join the challenge here this morning? And the grand opening Sunday at 3, right on East Franklin. You can't miss it, right off Eagle Road. Take a drive by, stop by, and what a great way to spend your Sunday after you go to church. But the grand opening of Stanton Healthcare right here in Meridian, Idaho. Coming up next, we will take more of your phone calls. We'll talk a little bit more. Congressman Fulcher joining us. Brandy Swindell will talk more about how you can make a difference. Obviously, the power of prayer as well when we're talking about children's lives and making that change. And as we talked about earlier, it's amazing when you think about Donald Trump and this person who we've all known for years, but obviously someone who cares about life, Mike Pence as well, making a difference. Won't you join us? StantonInternational.org. Click donate now. Kevin Miller on your home for Fox News, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.